Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to I'll Go Do tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wolf.
And I met Stint in person. Yesterday? No, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, chat. I can't even believe I did that. He lives 10 minutes from me at college. I go to a college in Boston. And he lives 10 minutes from where my apartment is. And so we went to like a Chinese food place, and it's called Dumpling Palace. I don't know if you've been to a Dumpling Palace, but it's like well known. I think that's what I was told. And the food's expensive. We split the bill, and it was like $40 each. And granted, we both had a lot to eat because we're hungry, but like that's a lot for like Chinese takeout. But we really had fun. He wore his JMR sweater, which was really cool. I did not, unfortunately, because it was like dirty, but it was really cool to like meet him and talk about Marvel Sports, hear his opinion on the committee and working with the committee and working with JMR and Dion, and some off the record stuff that I can't go into, of course, but it was awesome. And then just to like hear about him like as a person and his life, it was just a whole lot of fun. And it so happens now that he, by chance, knows someone in my friend group. Like, the odds of that are so low, but someone from my friend group at college. And I didn't know that he knew him. I knew this guy from last year, and I knew Stint, of course, from online. Someone from my friend group in college went to the same marching band as Stint, and they knew each other from the band. And they were friends. And and they didn't even know that there was like this triangle with me in there, and that's so funny. So when I messaged him, his name is Luke, and I was like, dude, Luke, do you know Matt? I won't say his last name, but you can see it in the JMR videos. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, really. Do you know Matt? And he's like, no way, you know him, bro? I'm like, yeah, man.
That's cool.
Dude, it is crazy, like the odds of that, because like, and me and Luke have golfed together a couple times, so like the fact that he knows Stint, like, it's crazy, man. It is really cool, and it's just cool to meet people in person in that sitting. Like when I met Waff in person, and
yeah,
we went and had pizza. It was really fun, and Waff ate one bite of the cookie and said, "I'm done."
We had a lot of pizza. Okay,
well, you were like, "What, the giant cookie with ice cream?" And then you're like, "Dude, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat it. One bite. I'm good." Oh my god. Those are the good times, though. Those are like some of the times that I look at and I'm like, wow, I'm glad I did this show. With that being said, we have a lot to talk about today. This is the final debrief, I'd say, of Marble League 2021, the final wrap up. We have a special guest coming on today. But before we get to the news, I just want to encourage you guys to check out the Racing Marble League, who now the second video is out. Race 2 is just about out when we're hearing this, so it will be out. I've been doing the commentary. It's been going well. And I don't know, the season's going pretty well. The racing is fun, so I just recommend checking it out if you haven't. We might talk about that more when things die down JMR-wise. But, yeah, a lot of exciting Marble Sports coming up. So, also don't forget to email us, mswpodcast@gmail.com. You guys know the deal. Please email in. Say anything. Like, even if there's not much going on in marbles, like, talk about anything, and we'll read it, and we'll enjoy it here on the show, and be able to connect with you guys. So, mswpodcast@gmail.com. I know a lot of you sent in emails the last couple of episodes, because we had a lot of new emailers and old emailers, because it was the big end of ML 2021 moment. So we got a lot of good stuff. But yeah, keep it up. We love to hear from you guys. But Woff, anything before we go to the news?
Yeah, I have some stuff coming on life, and it's the reason why episode 111 is not out yet as we're recording this. So, basically, I have my fundamentals of engineering exam coming up on Tuesday. So I've been studying for that. Just to get, I don't know if I've explained this in the show now, but basically the fundamentals of engineering exam is the first major step to getting my professional engineering license, and it covers every math, engineering, physics course from my bachelor's degree. It's literally my bachelor's degree basically in just one big exam. It's 110 questions, 5 hours. So I've been studying really hard for that. I haven't really spent, and then on top of that, my senior design course, I've been it's been getting into full swing. I've been with my client, and I've signed my NDA already, so I can't even say much about it. But I've basically been doing that. We did a meeting with them on Thursday. I've basically been, and I'm the team leader, so I do a whole lot of stuff with the team. It's a lot of my time has been taken up, so I haven't actually even bothered to try starting the news animation for this previous week. So I'm sorry, but once the exam is taken, I'm gonna do that, and then I'll do episode 112 as well right after. So hopefully we'll catch up. But it's just life's been busy. It's been very, very busy.
For sure. And thank you for still keeping up with the episodes as best you can, and good luck with your exams, because I can imagine, and I can kind of relate to how stressful and those might be, sir. So with that being said, guys, hopefully we'll see Johnny Marble again at the news today. Let's head to the news, and at the other end, a lot more debriefing of the 2021 Marble League.
Hello, Marble Sports fans. I am Johnny Marble here with the Marble Sports Worldwide News, sponsored by the Marble Hotel. Wherever you roll, we'll be there. So Race 2 of the RMLB League took place at the graffiti-covered Southside Marble Raceway. And while it may not have been as wild as the previous race, it still had its standout moments. The most exciting of all was when Flashfire managed to roll up and over the raised divider near the finish line to take the blocked off higher path, allowing them to jump all the way from 6th to 2nd. However, they were unable to maintain this lead as the race went on, and by the end, Fleur de Lis came in first, followed by Sacred Snow in second and Skunk in third. The battle for first is starting to heat up, so make sure you tune in next week for more RML B-League.
Thank you, Johnny Marble, for another exciting news segment. We are back from the news, everybody. And again, if you're watching the YouTube, yes, WAF camera is not a thing again.
I've emailed Elgato. They've gotten back to me. I've sent them my information. Hopefully they can solve it. It's been a whole thing, man.
Yeah. And we'll figure it out. And I'm sorry that you can't see WAF's beautiful, just impeccable face. But we're going to figure it out for you all. Anyway, before we introduce today's guest, I was wondering something. All right. I was wondering something, and I was wondering it literally 5 minutes ago, and I was like, no, I'll save this for now. I wonder if we will actually hit 1,000 episodes ever in our lives. And, I mean, we either will or we won't. There's only two answers. We either hit 1,000 episodes or we don't hit 1,000 episodes. So it's a really simple question, because it's not, there's no complexities to it. We either get to number 1,000 and record it and upload it and you guys see it, or it doesn't happen. Which, when you simplify it, it gives it a lot of hope. But I think it's just cool to think about. I wonder if we will sit here, I guess it'd be 10 years from now. WAF was kind of doing the math on that for a second.
Yeah, I have the math for it. So, not counting this episode, which is 112, that would be 888 episodes left. If assuming we do an episode every week without any breaks, which is extremely unlikely, but the best case scenario, it would take us just a little over 17 years to get to 1,000 episodes.
Whoa.
Yep.
Okay. Well, because that's dude.
I'll be 41
Holy
by
fuck. 40, man. 41. All right, I don't know if we'll hit 1,000 because that's crazy. But we might, and it depends on if Marble Sports really does go where it needs to be, and it really grows, and the ship turns around, or another channel, Racing Marble League, starts continuing to grow. Then maybe we could establish something so big that we'll be doing this when we're 40. But that's enough pondering. Let's introduce today's guest, MFA, former half-host, Marbles for Autism. Always a lot to say on the show. Always a lot of good debate when he's on with us. Welcome to the show for the fifth time, sixth?
It's been about 12.
12? All right,
Yeah.
12 times. MFA, welcome.
Hiya. Call me John.
All right, we'll call you Jack.
Or
I don't care. That's my real name, so I don't care.
Listen, we'll call you whatever you want.
MFA is shorter, but I don't care. I guess my internet personality has been set in stone as either Narble or MFA.
Down we'll go.
I guess we'll stick with MFA.
I don't know what
right
I
now,
never heard Narble, so I'm not even gonna...
So, do you want me to tell you how I got the name Narble?
Go ahead, sir. Why not?
Okay, so...
This is an MFA episode, guys. This is what we do. Go ahead.
This is the MFA rant. So Narble came from the Lucky Titan. So, what happened is I still kind of have, a Discord channel. So I put my logo that I currently have as my profile picture over as the Discord server picture. So, due to a couple tweaks in the photo, the M and, let's see. Yeah, only the M and the A got cut off from the picture. So when you open it up, or wave your cursor over the server, it looks like Narble for Udis. So
I actually think I remember that.
Oh yeah, I
think
remember that.
I think I do remember that.
But, well, due to that, I've just literally, in almost every server, I've just called myself Narble for Udis. Like, my in-game name I'll use for games, I'll just write Narble for Udis. And then people will literally just go around calling me, "Hey, Narble!" And I just kind of find it funny. So
You
that,
know what? I actually think that is kind of funny. To be honest, that is
pretty
I
funny.
do remember that. That I remember that being like a thing for like
yeah.
a year ago or something. I don't know. It was a while ago. All right, Narble.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And it's been a good week for months with me.
Oh my god, yeah. Okay, I'll tell you that. So on the Discord, MFA named himself "This has been a good week" like freaking like 4 months ago. Like he changed his Discord name to "This has been a good week."
No, it was my nickname in the server.
Nickname in the server, yeah. That like as far as I can see, and I mean it's fine, I guess, if you have a really good week. It is what it is. Do whatever you want. But he just left it there for like months. And so then I got angry at it, and I said, like, good week. I just renamed him Good Week for Months. What the hell, MFA? Because it's just freaking like, I don't get it. Like, and he just left that name there. So now that's just his name in the server.
Oh, I never saw that there was no I.
Wait, what?
No idea. WTH. That was what the hell, man. not like I was
Oh, I
not
thought you
supporting
just-
the name.
No.
With MFA.
No,
Yes,
not
with
Good Week for
MFA.
Months with MFA. No, what the hell,
Yes.
MFA, bro? That's
No,
okay.
it's with MFA.
Okay,
I'm going to...
I'm changing the nickname to. I'm actually gonna spell it out. What the hell, MFA?
All right,
That's
come on.
your
Let's
name.
get on the show,
Oh,
guys.
no.
Remember,
Fine.
I
mean,
gotcha.
So it doesn't sound like
remember. I have to. I gotta really study. I'm on a crunch. So let's get going.
Okay.
Wow,
here.
if this is an
Yes.
MFA episode, you'll be lucky if we talk about the actual content in 20 minutes, bro. Okay, this is what this is. This is this episode.
I'm aware, but it's always my job to try and keep it condensed and
Try
on
as you
track.
might. Try as you might. Anyway, guys, we have
There we
three.
go.
We have three
Does
simple.
that make you happy?
What make me happy?
I changed
It's
it.
just,
Back
just
to MFA.
MFA
Okay,
again.
that's fine. That's that's fine. Joke. I mean, was over months and months ago, but it's just funny. It just stayed there forever.
It wasn't
but,
a joke.
I mean, good week,
Anyways,
but for many months though, like this was. I don't even get that. All right.
Anyways, today we're going to talk about each of the teams from Marble League 2021.
You skip right over emails. And this is
sorry.
This is why I run episodes, because you know what? I was about to be like, boom, 3 things today: emails, teams, then maybe the retrospective if I care about it. And you're like, oh my god, like teams.
I can't believe Mr. Waff and Marble Guy actually got together, because they do not make a good couple.
Oh, we make a great couple. Dude, you should have seen us when we were having like pizza that one night and he took only 1 bite of that cookie.
Is this going to become the running joke, the cookie joke?
Oh my god. It was actually like, I was mildly annoyed.
I almost ate half of it.
No, you didn't. You took 1 bite and you just left it.
No, I'm pretty sure I took more than one.
You took one bite of like the ice cream part and you're like, dude, I'm full, man.
I think the reality stone is messing with both of your minds.
I don't know what that is.
You haven't watched Marvel, The Avengers?
No, I don't. I've never watched any of that. Like,
wait,
barely.
what?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, okay. This is crazy.
Write that
Let's get
down,
to the email.
Mr. Waff.
Wait, write what down?
Dude, this is why I love MFA episodes. The nonsensical write that downs that he tries to force. I love this.
The fact that he's never watched The Avengers.
I mean, as surprised as it was, it's not actually that surprising. Like, there are plenty of people who haven't.
It's like, what's the quote? Like,
I don't know.
Okay, but then
See,
don't say
the
it.
thing is, it's quote-worthy because it's not quote-worthy because it is not a quote.
All right, let's get to the emails. All right, Edu has an email for us. I hope everyone's doing good out there, by the way. Obviously, a lot of marbles rolling. Watch the Racing Marble League. They're good. We had a committee meeting with them. I'm in the committee like a few days ago, and that was really fun. We talked through some stuff. We have a new idea cooking up there. So stay tuned for all that. But we have one email. We have 2 emails. One of them is a trivia. One of them is classic Edu. One of my personal favorite emails. Here we go. So he subjects it. Mr. Edu says, "A changing community heading to a concerning direction." Ooh, that is a powerful name. Okay. He says, "Major competitive series on JMR are over for the year, and as a consequence, the fans who regularly interact with the channel content also don't talk as much about it. This is a natural situation. My generation has been active for a year, and the wear and tear of our enthusiasm is more apparent. But what doesn't feel right for me is how some of those dedicated people who have been involved with a variety of projects for the past few months have been quitting those activities and interrupting their presence in the community, or at least intend to. It hits me harder as I was used to discuss the events with them and even work in some endeavors with a few of those users. It's disheartening to see them leaving behind what should be a source of joy in a low point. This honestly leaves me worried of what shape this community will take in the next few months. Will it stay healthy despite some losses, or is this the beginning of a downfall?" To give extra background, I'm assuming that part of what he references is the resignation of Noblewolf. And there's a guy named Nordic Whaler in the community who's a part of Marble Earth, who also removed himself pretty deeply from the community. I think he's in this. I don't know if he's still in the server.
Okay. So this is basically what he's trying to say is the fact that people, since the biggest season, the ML season is over, people are leaving. Is that basically what he's saying?
What do you mean? No, I think there's been a lot of drama lately. There's a lot of drama lately in the community that has caused a lot of members who have first of all contributed a lot passionately to this community. Second of all, used to find joy in this community when their life was otherwise difficult, and they left. Nova Wolf resigned. Like I said last week, that guy would have killed. He would have killed other things a few years ago to be a part of the JMRC.
Yeah,
now he's gone.
Yeah, he and I have commentated together. Yes, so I know he is a pretty passionate marble dude. And to be honest, it's the same with me. I kind of have left marble sports a little bit. I've gotten out of it. I was talking to Mr. Wolf before you got on, before the show started, and I was telling him, hey, it's been hard because I've had new passions. I found other things. It's tough to stay in something when you've kind of been cut off from the deeper community. The only thing that's really kept me connected is Reddit. I've can see these temporary posts that pop on my email feed, and that's the only thing that's really kept me connected. Like, this has been one of the least watched seasons of Marble League. I've only watched like 6 or 7 of the events. I haven't even watched all. Yeah, you know what? And looking at the scores, I missed out on some stuff, but you know what? It's the problem is it's the controversy. It's the black and white marble who is running everything. It's when you get into that and you already have plenty of controversy going on around you, outside noise that's a little bit more important than marbles, you're just gonna forget.
Yeah, I will say, and that's actually not a bad point. When there's a lot going on in the world, there's a lot going on in each person's individual life, and most of that stuff negative. Because in all honesty, life's just not that great. I turn away from the mic for this one, I guess, but it's just not. Like life is good. There's some good things about life. There's some fun things. There's some happy moments. But the majority of life, it sucks. Like, it really does. And if it didn't suck, then it wouldn't be marble sports. I mean, that's just like, that's like marble sports and among other things. I'll turn back here. Those were made because regular life sucks, and we need something different and something to pick us up and something to really bring positivity to the world. So when you go to that positive thing, when you go to marble sports, and it gets worse, and there's more drama, and there's more people resigning, and there's more people upset, and there's more people not listening to other people, and there's more people doing things just for money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you're really at a loss, and most people in that situation are going to withdraw.
That's what's happened to me.
Yeah,
I really wanted to come on originally, like right after the Dion controversy, because I wanted to talk about him because I won't say that I was kind of, I won't exactly say I saw this coming, but I kind of did. I pretty sure that in this server, I said basically they need to get rid of Dion. He has been a thorn in their side. He has pushed countless things that have caused many, many problems. And then we have the episode 94 incident that just explodes. And I hate to say it, but I called it. I hate to say it, but it's kind of that thing where you kind of know if you've been around those types of people before. And it just makes me sad to see that this community is strong, but it's like partly clay and partly bronze. It's that kind of almost strong. It's a biblical passage about how a country or a group is sometimes strong, but also at the same time weak. And this is kind of that feeling I get. It's strong, but also weak at the same time. Like, it feels so strong right now. Like, they have 1.3 million subscribers or something like that.
1.35.
Okay, well, I was close enough. But,
yeah,
so basically, what I'm trying to say is, it feels like the whole bottom's collapsing out of it, and they're trying to keep the surface level clean and shiny. But if you dig down just a couple inches under the surface, you will find so many problems.
No, you don't even have to dig down a couple inches.
It's just
look at the thumbnails for this year's Marble League.
Oh, that
you
too.
You don't have to dig. Man,
that's agreed.
I mean, dude,
yes, Piney.
That's one of the first things Tim said to me when I met him. Dude, I was like,
Piney?
dude, the thumbnails. He's like, Stint is like, dude, those things suck, bro. Not Piney's, the other person.
Oh no, I know, but but that's the problem is Dion caused Piney to leave.
Yeah,
and Piney was their strong suit because the thumbnails are what draw people in.
Thumbnails are very important.
Saying that she left makes it sound like she quit. No, she was basically just not hired again.
Okay, let me rephrase.
That was Dion's decision. It was not a good one.
See, let me rephrase then, Mr. Wolf.
Rephrase.
Piney was kicked off by a black and white marble. That better?
Fair enough.
Is that better? Okay, so
yeah, that's accurate.
Okay, so Piney gets kicked. What do you lose? You lose that visibility, the nice thumbnails. I mean, they're meh. I mean, they're okay, but you see, they're not Piney level. I mean, Piney actually made them look nice. But when you lose that sort of connection with the community, and that, you know what? The JMRC, yes, did a lot of stuff, but the problem is it was more of public relations.
Well,
Yes.
but that's the problem. That's why
Yes,
when you
exactly.
cut that off, I mean, well, then the channel's going to dip immediately, and you see it in
Exactly.
views as soon as
Oh,
you
yes.
cut off. As soon as you cut off the ability for members of the community who want to be involved, can't really be involved as much as they'd like to be, then. I mean, you're really going to kill the community immediately, and you see it in the views. Okay, you see it in the attitudes of people.
Yep.
There are some major people who have changed their hearts about this community. Dude, 12 people resigned from a committee at the same time.
Oh, and then this next committee is pretty weak.
Yeah, well, I mean, this next committee is pretty much what Dion wants it to be.
Puppet. It's a puppet.
Yeah, it's a puppet committee.
Yes, exactly.
But listen,
It's-
I mean, we can't dwell on this email forever. But I mean,
No.
basis being, of course, as we've kind of both bounced around here, all of us here, it's not stable right now, and there needs to be some change somewhere, or it's heading in a bad direction.
And this is another thing, is the problem is how can you affect Dion without affecting Yella? We've talked about this in a little bit of a post episode chat. I think it was like 107, 108. Something about how can you affect Dion without affecting Yella? The problem is since they're brothers, who will Yella trust? Some random dudes from an internet community or his brother?
Like me. No, I know, and that's and also
That's the problem. He
I
won't
mean, like,
quit.
yeah.
He won't quit because there needs to be financial pain in it for Dion. He has no skin in the game, so he can do whatever he wants. You have to put skin in the game in order for Dion to quit. And Dion, how do you put skin in the game for Dion? The only way you can do it is by a mass boycott, which is kind of already
but then
happening.
Hurts Gel and
Exactly.
it hurts the channel.
Yeah. So
And you'd have to get the only way that works if hundreds of thousands of people understand why they're boycotting.
The thing is, it's already kind of happened. You've said it yourself that the views have dipped.
That's not really boycotting. That's more just, I think, loss of interest. Also, the thumbnail thing, like, it's not as... Because they changed the art style, it doesn't stick out as much. There are several reasons we discussed about across the past few weeks about why views have been down. And I don't think it's just the whole Dion drama.
But
Yeah,
let's just...
well,
I
that's
can
going to
agree
be
with
a
that.
part of it. I mean, the committee resigning and that is
It's
going to bring
the
views
Dion-
down. I mean, the
Right.
thumbnails aren't helping. In general, there seems to be diminishing marginal returns on
Marble guy.
marble sports in general. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say that killing the inner community is not a positive step. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
it's
no.
not doing a good thing.
Okay, I can explain this in about 5 words. It's the Dion domino effect.
All right, I did just count those words just to make sure it's 5 because I was about to call them out. But yeah, that's 5. That's 5. Go ahead.
And it's true. It's what happened is Dion leaks some footage, leaks some information. Dion does this, and then it triggers. It's a chaos theory in itself. The Dion chaos theory. But yes, and that's the biggest problem is Dion has shot Yella in the foot, protecting the person he loves the most.
All right. Well, I mean, we got to, of course, get on to the major topic of the episode, but I think that was all good content right there. We have one more thing before we get to that topic, and that is a trivia email from this guy named Steve Schaefer. He's wrote in a few times. Thanks for writing in again. Quick trivia question.
Ooh, I love trivia.
Well, just to address my live chat. The live chat, like, during our conversation, asked me which team's better, Limer or Cobalts. I said Cobalts. And that's all relative to how you view it. He says it's Limers because Cobalts failed to make the main league 5 times. I would say Cobalts because if you look at their past 2-year performance, you have Marbula 1, which the Cobalts have definitely done better than the Limers. Mm-hmm. And you have, in recent understanding, in recent past 2-year performance, the Cobalts are a better team than the Limers, points-wise. And you could judge this about 7 different ways, points-wise, how many times you made a Marble League, what place you got in the leagues you participated in, and get, like, 4 different answers. Because
Also,
those teams are both kind of bad, but have their moments. So I would be careful
please.
to judge it in that particular way. But okay.
Also, Limers, please. They got 15th in this main event. Please. They're not good. They're terrible. They are I shall post the image. Limer's
that?
trash. Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. So anyway, let's get to the
Boom.
question. So, question. Thanks, MFA. If the scoring system was up to date, who would have won ML
Are you
2016?
starting the trivia segment now?
This is just part of the email segment because it was sent in by email. You can throw the trivia music in if it makes you happy. But
Do. Bum bum.
Boom, boom. Waff, waff, waff. All right. I don't know if I don't even. Shut up. I don't even know if the music played. But the point being, if the scoring system was up to date, who would have won ML 2016? My guess for this is right off the bat, Thunderbolts.
Ooh. Wait. Actually, I've heard this before. And
Me too.
Let's see. How many medals? Well, so you know what? Here's the thing: is the 9th through 16th scored exactly 0 points. So those teams that were consistently, maybe 6th, 7th, 8th, they would have the most to gain from this. I don't think it changes that much because you're only scoring
who would won? That's all those
7
questions.
points. I'm trying to think.
Thunderbolts.
I think it is
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. I think it's Thunderbolts. I could be wrong, but I do believe you're right with Thunderbolts.
All right. Well, the answer is Thunderbolts. Oh, wow.
Hey!
Yo, that's probably the first time we've all gotten something right all together. That's pretty cool. So Steve Schaefer, good question. But hey, model car sports connoisseurs know something. Yes, because the Thunderbolts were actually quite good in 2016. And it figured if the answer is not the Speeders, they were likely candidate. I'm actually gonna quickly pull up where the Thunderbolts were in 2016.
Third.
Okay, well, good. All right, well then we know.
Or were they fourth? No, they were. They were third. Yes, because they came into the final event 12 in first. They choked, dropped down to third.
All right, guys. So the work of the day. Okay, we have 16 teams from the ML 2021, a very exciting ML 2021, and really a shame that there's so much outside video drama going on that would probably take away from how really exciting this year was. But we have 16 teams, and we want to go through each of them and just talk about them. Some teams might take 1 minute, some teams might take 3 years. But we want to address them. I'll address the ones that were on my fantasy closely, and I just want to talk about what it looks like for these teams, because standings were shaking up this year. So we'll start from the bottom and work our way to the top. So let's start with Rojo Rollers. All right, Rojo Rollers. We'll kind of take turns. So we'll start with Waff this time. Anything you want to say about the Rojo Rollers, say it. All right, this is the final chance to talk about teams from this year's Marble League.
All right, so the Rojo Rollers were my dark horse pick for my fantasy team.
That's sad, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know the little wheezy laugh? We need to insert that right here.
I don't even know where to get that.
I don't know either.
Can you put those notes in writing somewhere and then just so that we can talk about marbles and not break it up right now?
Yeah. Anyways, the Rojo Rollers, it's nice that they made it to the Marble League finally. I'm really proud of that. The fact that they made it at all does speak volumes. But the fact that they did so dang poor is just very, very sad. It's so sad. They came all this way only to be the worst team of the season. I guess it's better than not being here at all, considering the streak they've been on. That's positive in and of itself. But they lost their coach. They got a new one right near the end. It's just they had a rough year. It's so rough. It was so bad.
I mean,
they started out.
Okay, go ahead.
They started out from so thankfully our great friend and messenger Edu posted the complete scoring for the Marble League. So looking at the Rojo Rollers, yes, they had a really weak middle section. Now they were able to close with 2 fourth place finishes in the final 2 events. So I see an improvement. You see the coach firing? Now, yes, it's all just for role play and. Well, it doesn't affect the marbles at all.
I mean, yes, truthfully, but I mean, I would hesitate to say something like that because Event 15 is soccer, and if you want to talk about besides Black Hole Funnel and Swing Wave, the most luck-based event in Marble League is soccer. Right?
And hockey.
same thing.
Mhm.
They are like the most like base. So I hesitate to care. I hesitate to care about soccer as an event when predicting future outcomes.
Okay,
a
yes,
team.
I agree. But
And then for Marble Lacrosse, because they were in last place, they started in P1 for the race.
They
so
still
they had
got
a massive
P4.
advantage.
they still got P4.
I know, but like the fact that they started up ahead.
Yeah, they got the start. pole.
Okay, so whatever.
No,
But-
I mean, no, we're just pointing out things. If you think
yes,
this is
I
a
get
sign,
that.
then you should explain why you
You know
think
what?
this is a sign.
You do see how weak they were, but then eventually, yes, they had a very random, chance-based event with E15 with soccer, and then they have the Marble Cross as event 16. So they both got fourth. So now, yes, it's not great,
It is
but
not.
it will end. It will end the season on a high note for Rojo Rollers. Will that transition over? I don't know. And also, I have heard there's been talk that they might be firing 4 or 3 old teams. Can anyone confirm that they are?
I have
thinking
not heard that
I cannot
information
heard.
anywhere.
I have not. I
Okay.
cannot confirm any of that.
Okay.
I
So
don't think that's happening yet.
Okay. Now Edu might know better, but
No, but they're not doing that because they are adding 4 new teams already. If they fire 3 more,
Yeah.
then they have to add 3 new ones again. They're not doing that.
okay.
Thanks to dude. Actually, he just said the same thing.
Okay, so that's understandable. I was just thinking that the Rojo Rollers might have gotten eliminated. Okay, so personally, Rojo Rollers, they don't make next year's ML. I'm calling it.
No,
Probably not. Like,
that's fair.
uh,
That's fair.
You guys were talking about like the whole randomness thing about like not caring, but going back into role play, another reason why it's not like as big of a deal is because like it's an event that they're all not as equally as experienced in, so the playing field was more even, you know.
Okay.
So
That's true. Soccer, yeah.
And then
that's fair.
yes, we're again getting into role playing with the fact that we're talking about marbles having experience.
I mean, this whole podcast is based on.
Well, I mean, we try to be very forward about when we're talking about this in roleplay and when we're talking about this out of roleplay. Every once in a while, all right. Every once in a while, when we have a discussion where we have to talk, where we address both sides, they give you different answers. But very, very rarely, most of the time, if we address a question of Marvel Sports in roleplay and out of roleplay, we get the same answer but different reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really interesting, I found. But that's besides the point. Rojo Rollers, again, I'll just throw a couple things in on them. I mean, they're really bad. They are, and I really don't see how they make next year's Marble League. Because in all of the events that matter, I mean, I know they have the bronze, and I guess event 4, what was that? What was event 4? Actually, I'm going to look right now. Event 4, I have it freaking right here, was Funnel Endurance.
was
Funnel Endurance. That's
So
a pretty
that's
good
fine.
one.
But let's look at the other ones, and I'll actually jump over to this other thing I have where I can actually see the events. I mean, dude, 5-meter sprint, 3 points. 5-meter relay, 3 points.
Jousting, 3 points.
I mean, jousting is not
Yeah,
like a
it's new.
staple. 5-meter hurdles, 1 point. Block pushing, 4 points. Okay, let's jump forward.
Those are the staples.
Elimination race is a little bit of a staple, 3 points. Sand rally, 1 point. Those are basic skills in Marble Sports.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are skills that you need. You need to have at least a couple of those. Need to be strong. If you're going to gain any favor, even at the bottom of the standings from me. All of those are crappy for them. The only one that hangs on for them is like, wow, okay, you know, something is funnel endurance. But block pushing, 5-meter sprint, hurdles, relay, all garbage. Sand rally.
Sand rally's like really important.
Very, very, thank you. So I'm worried about them. But let's move on. 15 more teams to go. Limers.
Trash.
Limers are, I mean, they're bad. They're really bad, and I think they have a chance of resurging in the next couple of years because I see it. They actually, if you look at their numbers, okay, because Rojo Rollers, you look at their numbers, you see a lot of 1s, you see a lot of 3s. I'm looking at the Limers numbers. Yeah, they didn't get a lot of medals, and that really is a different. Like, think about it. You change 2 of their performances to gold or silver medals. I mean, they go from 99 to about, 130 or something. So it wouldn't even be that bad. When I see their numbers, I see a lot of 10s. I see a lot of 11s. I see a 15. I see 7s. I see 8s. I see, like, there's only a few 3s and 2s. And so compared to the Rojo Rollers, who very clearly are a bad team, I have more faith in the Limers by far than I do in the Rojo Rollers. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be up there with Mellow Yellow next year. Most likely not. Obviously not. But, like, when we talk about teams at the bottom, and we have to form a perspective on them, when I see the Rojo Rollers and their performance in the staple events, but then I look at the Limers, and I see a lot more events where there's just a stronger performance, 10 points in triathlon, 8 points at steeplechase, 15 in 5-meter hurdles. Let's see what Sand Rally is. Sand Rally was 10 points for them. So half of the staple events they actually didn't do terrible in. There's a better chance for them than there would be someone like the Rojo Rollers.
Okay, I can agree with that. Still, they were not even supposed to be in the qualifiers. They literally had 11.
That's immaterial. No, I'm cutting you off right there. That's immaterial. That is immaterial. No, okay, that's immaterial. That's not even worth mentioning.
No, I know. But this isn't. The fact that they were choking against... No, back in Showdown 2019 and 2020. I'm not talking about the qualifying. I'm not talking about the fact that they shouldn't qualify. But the fact that they were choking against the worst of the worst in the Showdown and choking terribly, not even getting into a qualifying spot. Now, yes, they got blessed and they got in. So, okay, fine, you made it. But still, you're choking against some of these terrible teams that consistently don't make it to the Marble League, and you expect them to do good. I don't see it happening.
I don't think that's material right now. I mean, they got in, they're here, and they didn't perform very well. But I'm talking about the future of the Limers right now. And they give me a lot more promise than someone like the Rojo Rollers. They give me a lot more promise than the teams like the Turtle Sliders or the Solar Flares, teams that are down there in the bottom of Showdown. They do. And so I mean, listen, I could honestly see something like an 8th or 9th place from them next year. And I don't think they'll qualify.
Okay, my second bold prediction of the day, Limers and Rojo Rollers do not qualify in 2022.
Well, Waff, let's turn over to Waff for this one.
Okay.
Limers, yeah, they were 1 point away from getting 100, so they didn't do that well. Again, soccer is because it's a new event. It's not too much of a deal, but I still like the fact that they did so well at soccer. I would argue that they were probably one of the top three. It's just that they had to face number 1 right before the actual quarterfinals, or not quarterfinals, the semifinals. So they didn't get a chance to get more points, but like so. They have their moment. They had a moment to shine every now and again, but they still haven't been doing very good overall. Like they really haven't been. Like, they just seem kind of stagnant from my memory.
Yeah, agreed.
Like they're just kind of always at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I mean, fair enough, and I think a lot of Limers is wait and see. But jump us to Mini Maniacs, Waff. Start us off.
Oh right, Mini Maniacs. Okay, so this one is a bit of a doozy. Like they started off so strong. They their beginning of their career. They won Hubalino 2018, right? Or was it 2019?
2019.
Stop with the Hubalino tournament.
I'm just
tournament. I really.
And
who cares?
Brendan,
who cares that they won against the Blue Fastics and the Green Gang? I don't. I really don't. I really do not care.
Well, some do, but anyways, they came from that.
Do.
Then they got third in 2020, in Marble League 2020, and so they had like, this is great. They had this positive momentum going, but then they went to M1 Season 2, and they really didn't do good. They did pretty bad. It's like, but maybe this is just because it's track racing. It's not Marble League. But now they came here, and they struggled to actually get past the Limers. They barely did it by the end. It was a close call, and like they were the only team who didn't have a medal until the very last event. So it's very disappointing to see, like, they had such a strong debut, but they had an even worse fall than the Green Ducks.
Actually, 2020 was not their debut. They were in 2018. They got 11th.
Oh, you're right.
I think it was 11th.
My bad, sorry.
Was it 11th or 12th? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter.
Like,
if you're
right.
below 9th, stops. It doesn't matter.
Can I say something real quick?
I said this last year.
Can I say something real quick?
In a minute.
You go.
Because I'm going to go. This is the Mini Maniacs. I'm going. Marble is going. I said this last year. They got third last year. Yeah, they got third last year. And Waff was like, oh, well, I mean, Brennan, looks like the Mini Maniac. I said, dude, that's a fluke season. I said it many times, and every time I said it, I was laughed at. I was told, but that's ridiculous to think. How can you have a fluke season where you get third and then go back down to 14th? But they're down in 14th.
Do you feel vindicated?
Yes, and I mean, that's where they are. And this is the kind of performance I expect from the Mini Maniacs, and the way they performed in it, the actual consistency they had in the crappy performance that they put forth, I don't expect to see them do something different next year. They may not even qualify. With the attitudes right now coming from the Cobalts, the Midnight Wisps, the, what the fuck is Team Galactic? Sorry.
Pinkies.
Jungle Jumpers, Pinkies, even the Snowballs, who actually didn't finish terrible in Showdown against all prediction. I don't think the Mini Maniacs qualify next year. I think the Limers qualify next year. I do not think the Mini Maniacs qualify next year.
Okay. Mr. Woff, can we have someone take... Do you want me to take the notes, or do you want to take the notes, Mr. Woff? Because we have me calling Limers and Rojo Rollers not making it, and then Marble calling Limers making it and Minty Maniacs not making it.
It's me being... How's that me being biased? Well, I do. I don't think that's me being biased. I'm looking at the data.
He can have his opinion.
Brendan Prude is non-biased with his fantasy team. He didn't even put Limers on his fantasy.
Yeah, because they suck. But I think they will qualify next year.
Okay, so Marble Guy, you honestly believe that the Limers will qualify?
Yeah, I just said it about as loud as you could.
Okay, that's okay. So we have a good test. So now we can see, are the Limers better than Minty Maniacs? So you say Mini Maniacs don't qualify, and
that's
Limers do.
Those are two different questions.
Well,
those are two different questions.
Right. My apologies, but I say Limers don't qualify. You say Limers qualify.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. So then we're going to have to see who's better at predicting. So, okay. Are you done? Are you done, Marvel Guy?
Well, I'm ready to move on to the Indigo Stars.
Okay, well, I haven't talked about the Mini Maniacs.
Well, I mean, we got 12 more teams and 20 minutes.
Okay.
So why don't you start us off with the Indigo Stars? There's not much more to say about the Mini Maniacs except for let's go to the Indigo Stars. That's pretty much what we have to say.
Okay. So,
Let's
Indigo
start us off
Stars, what was it? Event 1 was Swing Wave. They got gold there, and then so, I'm seeing some... Okay, so Swing Wave was a new event, correct?
Right.
Okay, so the fact that they mastered a new event very quickly shows that they have
enough. That's a luck-based event. Get out of here. No.
I mean, they got close, I think, to a perfect score, but I don't say that, but a lot of them kind of did. I wouldn't say it's mastery.
Well, they understand new concepts quickly.
Sure.
Okay.
Dude, Swing Wave is about as luck-based as soccer.
So Event 2. What was Event 2? Balancing.
Something actually,
0.
Something actually useful. 0 points.
0.
Shot.
5-meter sprint, 4 points. Fundal endurance, 7. 5-meter relay, 12, so that means they were just off the podium. Jousting, 5 points. 5-meter hurdles, 5 points. Block pushing, 6. Triathlon, 11. Steeplechase, 12. Sand mogul race. Okay, so Sand mogul race and sand rally. Would you say sand mogul is an important skill to have?
I think the sand mogul race that they created this year was one of the worst events I've seen in Marble League. I almost gave that one a thumbs down. It was awfully made. They had no moguls at all. All the marbles were kind of shoved to the right side of the track the whole time. It was a terrible event. So I say any discussion surrounding that event as a predictive measure is not
I agree.
useful.
But the fact they did get a silver, but that's probably just a bit because they were able to get out in front first. And then elimination race, 12 points. So that's a 4th place. That's not bad. That's a very good skill to have. It shows that they can read the other marbles around them and pace themselves, which is a very good skill to have. But then the problem is they got sand rally 4 points, football 3 points, but we don't care, and then marble cross 4 points. So basically, you have a couple of very important skills that are lacking. Indigo Stars? I
think a basis question. I mean, this is a I guess good one. I mean, one will kind of become weird towards the end, but I mean, like, will they qualify next year? I mean, that's what we kind of started with that question for the first 3. Well, will the Indigo Stars qualify next year?
Okay,
so and my answer to that is Unfortunately, yes. And I don't like the Indigo Stars at all. They're Mini Maniacs and Indigo Stars, like is one of my two least favorite teams in Marvel League. But
so why? Wait. So why do you think they're going to qualify?
Well, they're actually not bad. They have 2 medals.
No, but yeah, a lot of people have 2 medals.
I mean,
literally,
they do. But that's not what I said. They have 2 medals.
The Savage Speeders?
In the context of qualifying. Okay, in the context of qualifying.
Oh, wait. Oh,
I mean,
so you said they had 2 medals in qualifying.
No. In the context, like if a team has 2 medals, like the Indigo Stars do, even though they didn't finish very high, and because remember we just jumped the line here. We jumped because Rojo Rollers are 85 points, Limers are 99 points, Mini Maniacs are 114, but now we've jumped to 133, and now the next. And that, because think about it.
16 points covering the next.
Indigo Stars 133. The next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams are in the 140.
I'll look to Hazers.
So
Hazers,
the Indigo Stars
16
are not.
Points.
The Indigo Stars are not far out of the pack of decent competitors. So I think they could. I don't like the team at all. But I think they could qualify.
I will say that this has been one of the closest seasons. Usually,
It is the closest season.
If I do remember correctly, the past 2 seasons they've had competitors get near or reach 200 points. The winner reached near or reached 200 points. But if you remember, back in 2017, the winning score was 156, and that was with 4 fewer events. The winning score this season, 162.
Yeah, I think we had an email that addressed that, which is pretty cool.
Which this shows how the field spread has closed. It means that, hey, most of these teams are actually improving, which of course the marbles. But that begs the question, was it the track design? Or the fact that the marbles are actually getting closer in their groups? Or was it because these events were more chance-based and not exactly skill?
I don't know. And that's a good question to address. I mean, it's a good question to address at a different time, honestly, because we have to get to all these teams.
Yeah.
But I like that question. And event analysis is important here. There's a lot I have to say about the event choice as a whole this year. They're a little bit too much racing-based, probably, but... again, for another time. Waff, Indigo Stars, and then I'm just gonna have you jump us right into.
Okay, wait.
No, I'm gonna start on speeders. So Waff, jump into Stars, and I'll start.
Real quick. With my prediction, I think Indigo Stars will not make it.
Okay. Fair enough. Waff. Waff.
Woof. Woof.
Am I going crazy here? Wow.
No, you're not. Woof. Woof.
What's going on right now? Oh, you're like really quiet now, buddy. You gotta
crank it up.
I don't know what's
Sorry,
going
my bad.
on.
I forgot to unmute myself because I was drinking water.
Oh my
Anyways,
god. Okay, go ahead.
So as I was saying to myself, I guess, the Indigo Stars, I was happy to see a lot of like this whole season, like a lot of teams we don't normally get to see compete, just because it makes it unique and interesting. We don't normally see these kinds of teams all competing together, and so I was kind of like hoping that at least some of the rookie teams are gonna, or at least not the rookies, but more so the less experienced teams get a chance to shine. But like the Indigo Stars, I mean, again, it is close, as you said. Like, it's not that big of a gap, so they technically did well in that sense. But like, they just do the short straw by happenstance. But like, I mean, I'm interested to see where they go. I don't really know. Like, it's hard to tell, honestly. I can't say anything much about them.
Okay, so real quick, I can't talk. Quick question, Mr. Waff: do they qualify or not?
I don't know. I'm not. I've been doing this. I've been playing this game with you.
Yeah, I guess this is me and MFA. Waff doesn't really care, but fair enough.
It's too early to say. They're all most of these are toss-ups.
It's worth considering, though. I mean, like you should have an idea.
I mean, there's certain ones I have an idea of course. Like the Savage Speeders are gonna make it. I don't think there's anyone who's gonna deny that.
No, well, I mean, I'm gonna launch into that one real quick then. Savage Speeders, number 12. That's surprising to say out loud. That's low.
That's really low.
And I'm gonna tell you what right now, and they were on my fantasy team at times too. And I'm gonna tell you what right now. I am not going to apologize for that pick. I am not going to apologize for that suggestion. And the reason I'm not going to do so is because even though they finished 12th, they did not finish 12th like other years as 12th. Dude, I mean, they do one place better in one event, or like a couple places better in one event. They move up like 7 spots. Like, for example, here's an example. They have 2 events right now where they have 4th place. Those 2 events, I'll actually tell you the exact events that those events be. So, Savage Speeders had 4th place in jousting, and they had 4th place in let me see my this. They had 4th place in Sand Rally. Okay, if they jump up like a couple places, because 12 to 20 points, add 8 points to them, or 12 to gold. Okay, and in jousting was done in heats. So if they happen to win that one jousting match that they lost, it's literally the one match. Like you could roll the marbles again, and Savage Speeders could win. All of a sudden, they're finishing 5th or 4th or at least 7th. Yeah. That's different. That's a different game. That's like one rerun of an event. Sand Rally, they bounce the right way towards the end. Again, they're finishing 7th or 5th. Mm-hmm. All right, so I just want to point out that while they are finishing low, and so this is very unlike the Savage Speeders to not be in the top 5, actually the first time ever. Mm-hmm. It's not the same, it's not the same 12th as compared to, actually the first time ever across all tournaments. It's not the same 12th as other years as 12ths. It's not like we're looking at Savage Speeders with 140 and 8th place had 170 and 4th place has 180. I mean, no. We're in the 140s in points now from 12th right up to 4th place. So all I'm saying is that the Savage Speeders wasn't necessarily a bad pick, even though the placement numbers show otherwise. Now, here's the big problem with the Savage Speeders: is you can't get 5 points in 5-meter sprint on the Savage Speeders. You can't do that, and that's the reason they're not in 5th this year. I mean, if they perform in 5-meter sprint how they need to perform in 5-meter sprint, I mean that's an easy top 3 for them. It's an easy top 5 for them, and then the Savage Speeders are normal. The one problem they face this year is they didn't do what they should have done in the event that they are supposedly one of the best teams at. So that was a mistake that caused this weird aberration. But I mean, as far as they'll qualify next year for sure. But I mean, that's not really a question for them.
Okay, I can agree with that. Yes, they will qualify. And watch. We
Yeah,
will all be shocked. We will all be shocked when they don't qualify.
They will. I will, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. Absolutely not.
I have no doubt, but watch. Whenever we say we have no doubt about something, it happens.
No, not always.
Well,
not always.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. But yes, Savage Speeders, it's ridiculous from here to 4th. From here on to 4th, it is ridiculous. But yes, the Savage Speeders got caught speeding by being too slow. Because how do you not get a good result in the namesake? Like, I'm not even a Savage Speeders fan, but if you are a Savage Speeders fan, you gotta be raging right now, because you know that your best event should be the 5-meter sprint, and you just choked. So, where do the Savage Speeders go? They
need to do well in that event. More practice? I don't know. It's very odd that they do badly in 5-meter sprint. That's the thing I'm saying. It's like, it's not like them. I don't see them not qualifying. But then again, you let the O-Rangers beat you, which are the biggest rivals of them. So the O-Rangers fans have a whole bunch of bragging right now to do, because I would hesitate to give the O-Rangers any type of bragging rights, but we'll get there.
Well, they got a top 10. Them. They got top 10, and they beat the Savage Speeders.
No. We'll get to the O-Rangers. Anything about the Speeders or the Green Ducks that you want to move us on to?
Speeders. No, I think I already said my. Did I not say my piece?
No,
you might just. Well, you already covered everything. There's honestly nothing else I could say about it. So, Ducks. I mean, like they just kind of this has kind of been a downhill since their debut year was great.
Mm-hmm.
They got like second place in 2019, and now they just kind of moved. Just gone down. I can't remember, where did the Ducks finish in 2020?
I don't remember.
I think it was mid pack or something. It's like they're kind of like the Minty Maniacs, where like they have their one moment of glory and then they kind of just go down.
You know what? It's because the Green Ducks got their sponsorship removed from Hank Green.
Maybe 15th in 2020. Thank you, Eju. I guess the other thing, again though, like all these marbles from 4th to 12th, they're all pretty much in the same ballpark. So like, while it's bad technically, it's not really. They're all technically did good. So it's like,
yeah, the Green Ducks are a weird one because they started out so well. They got second.
No, they got last. Oh wait. I thought you were talking about this season.
In rookie year, they got.
Oh yes,
they got
yes.
second.
Rookie
and
year?
now they were like 15th last year and 11th this year, right?
So that maybe they had a down year 2020, and maybe they're back on the upswing. Maybe they
yeah.
lost
I mean, and
performance.
it's hard to really yell at 11th right now because, like I said, same goes for the Ducks as for the Savage Speeders. You know, one event goes their way even by a couple places, or all of a sudden 5th. So there's that aspect of it. And that
they say 12th for 2020. Okay, either way. So they're basically the same place they were last year, but this time it's in better
12th looks
circumstances.
different than this 11th right now, and that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, they do 3 teams with 149, 2 teams with 145. I mean, dude, it's crazy. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard because the numbers are the numbers.
Do they
but
qualify?
It's not the same. Oh, yes, they do.
I'll agree with that. I can say they will qualify.
All right, we gotta start speeding up just because I'm gonna run out of time. But like honestly, these next few ones, like let's just pick out the ones that I guess that matter the most, because a lot of these is gonna be the same thing.
Rangers.
They didn't do good.
Thunderbolts.
We gotta talk about a Ranger. We gotta stop for Rangers.
Yeah, Runderbolts. Okay, wait, Runderbolts. Wow.
Runderbolts. Write that down, Mr. Woff.
I think the ones that we need to talk about the most are Rangers, Thunderbolts, Momo, and the Cat's Eyes. I think those are the
and then Mellow
Yeah,
Yellows. And
Well, yeah, well, I mean, obviously the top 3.
I'm talking about the top 4 here.
Yeah, I mean, like, the top 4 we're gonna have to cover, top 5, but like, we'll stop on the Rangers, we'll stop at Momo before the top 5, and then for the other 3, I'll kind of just jump in and do something real quick. Just to
how about
move us
Thunderbolts?
Through. Yeah, I'll move us to that. Thunderbolts,
Okay.
They're a weird one, but because you're right, we got to make sure we get it done. But let's talk Rangers for a sec. Now, Rangers, listen. I have to apologize for this pick, and like you'd think if I'm not going to apologize for the Savage Speeders pick, then I should not have to apologize for the Rangers pick since they finished above the Speeders. But that's different because I put this pick at ×3. I said that the Rangers are most likely to win this year's Marble League, and there's a different problem here. The problem with the Savage Speeders is they did everything right, but they choked 5-meter sprint. The problem with the Rangers is they had ample opportunities. Many, like 4 or 5. Where they had the chance to podium, the chance to gold, and every time they choked them. They have 3 medals. Wait, MF, no. This is... I got 3 medals. 3 medals where, no golds, 2 silvers and a bronze. They needed to have a gold. If you look at their numbers... They have an 11 in there. They have a bunch of 9s and 10s. And that means, like, choking in a later heat. That's what that means.
Okay.
All right? And not performing well, getting through a couple heats, and then losing it all when it got hard. And so there were many chances and times where the Rangers needed to have performed and needed to push out at least 1 gold. And they pushed out 1 gold. They're top 5 team.
No, they got 0 golds. They got 2 silvers and a bronze.
That's what I said. If they do push out a gold, they're a top 5 team, but they did not. And because they did not, and because they couldn't handle that, then unfortunately it was a bad pick for a winner because they really choked multiple times.
Okay.
As far as trying to get a top finish.
Okay, so I have something to say to this. This is not out of character for the Rangers. This is what they always do. Every single year, I've seen them, except for 2017. I guess 2017 was actually a fluke year for them because they actually closed with a couple decent medals. But remember, they choked the gold in the Sand Rally and the Underwater Race in 2017. If you remember, in 2018, they literally got no medals until Event 11, and yet they came within 10 points of winning. See, this is not out of character. The O'Rangers thrive on strong, middle-of-the-pack performances that continually push them up and boost them. See, with O'Rangers, I've always seen them get 4th or 5th. It's kind of annoying as an O'Rangers fan, which I kind of am, although
I always forget you're an O'Rangers fan.
Yes, I'm an O'Rangers fan, but I can root with it for anyone else I like. But yeah, basically, they do that. They constantly have these 4th, 5th, 6ths. They constantly right in that middle of the pack, constantly getting those consistent points. The problem is this year they didn't. But if you look, see, you have event 2, 1 point. What was event 2? Real quick. Balancing. Okay, yes.
Good event,
Yes.
Okay, see, 1 point.
I mean, they can't do that. You
Yes.
can't beat the O'Rangers and get 1 point of
Yes,
balance.
I know. But look, then you have a 6, 9, 8, 11. All middle-of-the-pack performances.
They were very middle of the pack, I agree. They did have a 0 in there, but that one was a weird one.
Yes, exactly. See, and then you have 11, that's 5th. 20, that's 2nd. 9, I do believe that's 6th or 7th. 6th or 7th. Somewhere around there. Then you have a bronze, and then you have a 1 and a 0.
But I mean, these are true things, but my point being, I see the numbers, and you can look at the Chrome if you want to see them. All of them are there. Obviously, very a middle-pack team. My point being, the difference between a top 3 O'Rangers, which we've seen many top 3 O'Rangers.
Yeah.
We have seen them. And a O'Rangers of this year, or
actually,
I guess 2017, is a...
Oh, wait, no.
Is a gold. Is a gold medal. Because normally they have a couple gold medals, or 1 gold medal. And they didn't have any this year.
1.
And that is the difference between O'Rangers when O'Rangers are doing good, where they won, or they got 2nd place last year, unfortunate for them with the choke, and the O'Rangers this year, where they couldn't get up past 10th. They needed 1 gold. 1 gold puts them at top 5 this year. That's what I'm saying. And so, I mean, it's a bad pick because I did not anticipate that difficulty the O'Rangers have as a team in general to get a gold medal. They do have that. They face that. They're not a bad team. They're going to perform well, but it's just about, for them, it's getting that gold. They get 1 gold, they're a threat to win. They get no golds, they're not really a problem.
Yeah, you see, here's the thing. If they convert that balancing loss to a gold, that 15th, that's a gain of 24 points. That puts them 172.
They should be at least a lot better at balancing. But even if you convert one of their silver medals to a gold, you're already
that's
looking
not
at
enough.
A top
That's
7 finish. No, but
Yes.
you're looking at a top 5 finish.
Okay, so let's say they close out the final race, score 5 points. That means the Minty Maniacs get 2nd. Yeah, so they push the 5. That means that puts them in a 4-way tie with the Hazers, Crazy
No,
Cats,
that does
and Team
not
Momo.
mean that, because if they get first, they push all the other teams down.
No,
1.
they don't, because they just trade places with Minty Maniacs.
They got
Yeah.
2nd. You're right. No. Okay,
So
well, I guess it would be different if they for balancing. Okay, yes, but so it's true. They get 4-way tie, but and yes, I understand that in technicality it's the full weird 4-way tie thing, but I'm kind of ignoring that. I'm just going point being 5 points, because if they turn a silver to a gold and they're up tied with the 149s, where one of the 149s places 4th, I know they technically don't win from the tiebreaker there, and I don't want to. That's not my point. That's not my point. My point is that they turn us over to a gold. They are up there with the teams that are placing as high as 4th with 149. That's a completely different finish than 10th. It is.
It looks better on your resume when you can say, "Oh, I'm tied for 4th with 4 other teams," instead of saying, "Oh, I'm tied for 9th with another team."
Point being, yes, exactly. So, I mean, the Rangers, I don't know. I don't honestly know. When they're going to qualify next year, I would be very hesitant to pick them next year already. We'll see. Pick them for ×3. They might fit in a ×1. But let me blow through these next 3, and then we'll stop at Momo. Okay, Shining Swarm. We haven't seen much of them in a while, so they actually did surprise us a little bit with performance. They got a gold, they got a bronze, they got another bronze. Not bad at all. Again, they're actually pretty close to being able to again jump up into that top 3 area with the O'Rangers, top 5 area. Shining Swarm is hard. I think that it's more likely that the Rangers, Ducks, and Speeders qualify than the Swarm, because again, the Swarm, we don't have enough information on them, and they don't have enough built-up consistency. But they did well, and they actually didn't have a lot of events. They had no zeros on the board. They had only a couple events where they were below 5 points, only like few. So not terrible.
The Swarm is back, boys.
Yep. Thunderbolts. Man, our episodes always go so long. It's crazy. Thunderbolts. I do want to say we don't talk about them a lot because they're very arrangery, where they're like middle of the pack. They don't get many golds. They have 1 medal this year, but they have so many 11s and 10s and 12s on point finishes that they still actually for a while they were holding a top 4 spot without any medals.
And this is why they would have won the 2016 Marble League.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Their incredible consistency got them in the top half, even with just 1 medal. They are a really good team.
And yeah, they're like a unsung Team Galactic. So again, I think they qualify, but as far as like do they win, I need to see like them being able to also turn over into medals, because there's a difference between doing well and being the best. Chocolatiers, very surprising this year, 3 medals, a gold even. So they turned things around, but you figure it was coming because they're a veteran team. So you figure at some point they were going to click. They've been here forever and they still hang on as a team. And so again, and 145, so not even far from that top 3 area. So again, I mean, a lot of these 3 teams are teams that are all kind of similar. We need to just keep watching. We need more information, and we need to see them be more dominant before we then say, okay, now we got to keep our eyes on them, like for good, for fantasy, for in general. Because like still my eyes would be more on Savage Speeders than Rangers right now for long term. But Momo, I'll let Waff start with this because this is his big man. But talk about Momo for a minute, Waff.
Honestly, I think people are focusing too much on how it finished, because again, they are continuing that positive trend I've been talking about for like the past year and a half. They have maybe even 2 years at this point. Like they have been constantly improving with each different type of competition they've been in, step by step.
Yep.
And they just kept getting better. And this is just the continuation of that. Like while early on I definitely was preemptive saying this could be the year of the Mo, the fact that they still they finished in the top half, they finished in 6th, they tied for 4th. Like this has been a big redemption arc for Momo. They have been proving step by step, and they have it just seems like they're just going to keep going until they get that gold or at least that podium finish.
Will their end game be next year? Will they complete the arc?
With how much they grew this year, I think it might be. I think
next year will not be the year for them.
Oh,
really? No, it will not. And here's the reason why. There are too many other teams right now who have also had a rough year. And oftentimes, those teams will bounce back. And unfortunately, long term, Rangers are a better team than Momo. Speeders are a better team than Momo. Midnight Wisps are a better team than Momo. Mellow Yellow is a better team than Momo. I mean, Crazy Cat's Eyes are a better team than Momo. Team Galactic is a better team than Team Momo. And actually, most of those teams, not Mellow Yellow, of course, but most of those teams are either on an upswing, Crazy Cat's Eyes being in yellow, being on upswings, or struggled a lot. And struggled enough where it's not like, okay, they're stagnating. No, it's like struggled, where they're not happy. You think the Savage Beaters are happy right now? You think Midnight Wisps are happy right now? You think Team Galactic?
Do you think the Rangers are happy right now?
I do not.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to say all the team names, but now we did. But point being, there are too many other teams with a lot of lopsided, we can call it ionic energy right now. Right? Lobs to one side. Either really high in momentum and on a winner's high, or really ionically low, where we're talking like we need major overcorrection from some of these teams. Team Galactic, we need to see major overcorrection. And I really think the Team Galactic is going to come out strong. I mean, I wish they're going to come out strong, and Momo's going to get lost in that. I don't think Momo's going to do bad, but I can see another Momo 8th, 9th, 10th finish next year.
We shall see. We'll have to wait till the qualifiers next year.
We will indeed. Cat's Eyes, MFA, start us off.
Okay, Cat's Eyes. If I do remember correctly, they were in a very bad position. If I remember correctly, weren't they in 10th at one point? But they managed to pull it back.
They did not very well in the middle of the Marble League. They
Yes.
had a 0 and a 1.
And they didn't start out
started with
well
a couple
either.
twos.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but the fact that they were able to pull it back to 5th and the home stand, I think this is a host curse crushing moment. This has crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. They
That's
just
fair,
needed,
yeah.
They just needed the right team to crush it, and they chose the right team to crush it with Cat's Eyes.
Well, I mean, the host curse was never
a long time
really.
ago.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of dispelled it back in like 2019,
Yes,
honestly.
but this
I
has
mean,
removed every
right.
single...
If you want more proof, yes. Yes,
Oh,
it is. There's
okay.
more
So
proof.
Sergey, I can't say it. Sergey.
Yeah,
we'll
I
just
know
call
what
him.
you mean. I can.
So we'll just call him Sergey.
Merkstroff.
I can't talk.
Merkstroff. Alright,
Yeah.
good.
Okay. He said right here, CCE would have finished runner-ups had Blue Eye not been
Don't even start me.
disqualified.
Don't even frickin' start me. Don't even start me.
I agree. That
and
disqualification.
all across
That's
the podcasting world of marbles, WAF disagrees with me. All of Let It Roll disagrees with me. Actually, even I think like people like Stint and stuff disagree with me.
Wait,
but I'm
with
gonna tell you
what?
what right now. The Blue Eye disqualification.
I
is
agree.
Probably my least favorite event that's happened in marble sports that I disagree with
agree.
the most, even more
it
than Black
was
Hole Fun.
terrible. It was a very poor call. I can understand why they made it, but it was poor.
I
call.
cannot.
It was, but it was a racing incident. They were trying to squeeze through a gap. Yes, it was closing, but they shouldn't have gone off the wall. When you go off the wall, it then becomes a track flaw. Because the contact was minimal. It was they're trying to squeeze through a gap to gain positions. They got the position, and it was a little bit of contact. It was a little bit side-by-side contact. You can't fault that. It is a racing incident. And that's the problem is, with this disqualification, it's just stupid.
It's not preferred. It would be very hard. It's more likely that you convince me that the winner of Showdown goes to auto qualification than you convince me that the Blue Eye incident was a correct call.
That was an incorrect call. I've talked to people. I said, I understand why they made it. I don't agree with it, though.
Yeah, we've talked this point to death at this point, and if we keep this up, it'll waste some more time. So let's get
Yes,
going.
but so
I was
CCE,
like, aight.
so CCE, good job. I think it was a good ending. And my brother's trying to sneak up on me because he's being a little jerk. Oh, hi, Dad. Hi.
It's time to eat. Are you done?
Oh, no, I'm not
We're
done.
working on it.
Okay, so back to the CCE. Sorry for the interruption. Dad
Do we
interruption.
even need to cut that out? I just kind of listened to it. I don't know.
It's
I don't
funny.
even know.
Okay, it's just funny. But really, CCE, I'd say it's a good job by them.
Yeah, I mean they finished.
They
top six.
should have. They should have won. They had all the momentum going in. They choked.
Yeah, there's nothing more to say, honestly. Hazers, this is their normal.
Oh yeah, we
Like
jump into
6/3.
Hazers somehow
six
always seem to slip my mind. Like I don't like I mean they finished 4th. I mean honestly
6
they were 4
medals.
points away from a top
Okay,
3, but like
I saw a hilarious meme. I don't remember.
medals is crazy.
I saw a hilarious meme. It was about how inconsistent, yet how they're so good. It was about the Gliding Glaciers, Mellow Yellow, and Hazers. All three of them.
I don't know how how are the Hazers in like their history is 6/3, 6th, 4th now. They are always like that's
But
their
nobody
that's their
cares
total.
about them. Like I don't know. It's weird because I don't like. I try to
Because-
care about them and I
See,
can't. Like they
here's
got
the
6
problem.
freaking medals and I don't even care.
See, here's the problem. Is they don't finish the deal. They can't close.
But that's not inconsistency. That's
No, it's not.
consistency.
No, they're talking about event inconsistency.
Well, I mean,
Sure.
they actually have 3 zeros, so that is a problem. Rollers don't even have 3 zeros. Rollers have 1 0. Actually, nobody else has 3 zeros.
Exactly
Just
what I'm
Hazers.
trying to say.
So
I'm
I mean that point. I mean that you should have mentioned that specifically.
Oh, yeah,
but,
my bad.
That is a problem because if you have a team, because like, dude, 6 medals is dominant. 6 medals is not just like good. That's like a dominant team.
That's how
Like,
many Mellow
that's-
Yellow got.
Yeah, and also like
Mm-hmm.
that is ridiculous. That means that more than a third of the Marble League, you were in the top 3. That's ridiculously dominant. But you cannot. I mean, they get 3 zeros, which is you can't have that if you want to win. If you want to win Marble League, you can't have 3 zeros. You can't. Nope. And honestly, surprising that Mellow Yellow won, but they only had 2, so I guess so. But they also had a 1 and a 3, and so it was either like a medal or because it really was medal. Okay, it was so 8 and 7 are like middle of the pack, but besides that, it was medal 1-4, medal 3-0, medal 0-6, medal 5, medal 0. I mean, look at that. It's either like nothing or everything.
And see, here's the other thing. The other reason was why Mellow Yellow won is because they closed it out in a different event. They got 2 silvers instead of 1 to Hazers.
That's true. Hazers did get 1 bronze, which does adjust the points a little
3,
bit. And also, Mellow Yellow doesn't have 3 zeros.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is they were able to be.
1 extra
they
bronze.
had 2. They had 2 zeros, E4 and E5. So
yeah, and when they got those 2 zeros, definitely from Mellow Yellow, I was like, they're not gonna do very well, but they really pulled it together. Let's go to Gliding Glaciers. 3 more teams. Yes, this is a longer episode.
I am so happy Gliding Glaciers finally bring Team Plasma Black. Blah.
No one cares about Team.
I
literally don't
love
even know.
Team Plasma. I like more than the Rangers.
That's weird.
Yes, I like if Team Plasma would come back. I probably would almost buy their shirt.
Okay, we almost.
Well, yes, but I love Team Plasma. Please bring them back. But I am so happy to see the Gliding Glaciers come in finally after. Okay, they were introduced in 2018 after a 3.5 year hiatus. A 3.5 year hiatus, and come in and take a bronze. This is Minty Maniac level. So this is
shut up! Don't not compare them to Mini
yes.
Maniacs.
This is Minty Maniacs.
No,
yes.
Absolutely
yes.
not. No.
I would say it's hold on. I would say it's. I think honestly, I'd say it's bigger because like it's a completely different team. Like
because Mini Maniacs came from, and I hate Hubalino, but Mini Maniacs came from Hubalino. They've competed before, and they stayed the same team, and then just got better. Gliding Glaciers is a different team. They competed a long time ago, but then they're a completely new set of technically uniforms, a completely new set of marbles. It's just the same name, but a completely different group.
And different competitors.
And that changes a lot. And so they're basically a rookie team that's never competed before, and they did about as good as the Green Ducks would have done
in their first season. It's comparable. And
comparable.
Comparable, doesn't matter. But yes, I am so happy. If you look at how they close it out with a silver, a gold, and then a 10th, which would have been
it's fine.
Fourth or fifth. That was a good finishing score. They were able to beat out the Cat's Eyes, the Hazers, Momo.
And you know what they did? You know what they did that was good? And they started strong too. 11-11-15. Not a bad start.
But you know what they did?
They limited zeros. They only had 1. And that's the thing that is a worry usually for rookie teams. Like the rookie teams usually come out and they have some events that they can do well at. I mean, 4 medals is not bad. But the scary thing for rookie teams is also how many events are they going to really tank? And they only tanked 3. And most teams, even Mellow Yellow, have 3 tanks. 0, 0, and 1 for them. For Glaciers, it'd be 0, 1, 1. So they only tanked 3. Everything else was decent or actually pretty good. So you have to give them credit, and so I'm very happy with them. They're in my top 5 favorite teams right now. They switched. The Rangers dropped out of that. When the Gliding Glaciers were introduced, not now, like before they even made the team. When they were in the qualifiers, I made that switch just because I really liked the team. I was always wishing for them to come back. So, I mean, they're there now, but it's really fun to see them there. Maybe they'll even jump up into my top 3 one day, but it's hard to get rid of Mellow Yellow or Crazy Cat's Eyes or Limers from that top 3. I just love those
Limers?
teams.
Okay.
All right, but Glaciers, being said, very impressive. WAF had Raspberry Racers for times 3, so I'm going to throw this over to WAF for the times 3.
How did you do on your fantasy, WAF?
At the start, I was absolutely dominating, but in the last one, I jumped down to like 100 something or 200 something because it was so close. The margin for error was extremely large. Like you could not if you had even one slightly off pick, you were shot down the list.
So basically,
because everything was so close, it was ties for every single point value from 1150 to 1180. It was crazy. So
It was a very small margin of error.
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah.
Oh, you said a very large.
Wuff, I want you to address.
Right.
I didn't address before you do that. I didn't address Gliding Glacier as a pick. So they were picked for me because they're a good example of, if you're trying to make a dark horse pick, Gliding Glacier is a good example of the kind of team you should pick, because they showed promise and we really didn't know anything about them. Rojo Rollers, and I said this to Wuff when he picked it as his dark horse pick. It's a bad dark horse pick because we know too much about them. So. Gliding Glaciers, we knew nothing about them, and it could have failed because they were down in 14th for a while, but it ended up working out, and it was really exciting. So it could have been terrible, but it ended up good. But I feel like there was more chance for something like the Glaciers than like the Rojo Rollers. But I'll let you talk about your Raspberry Racers ×3.
Yeah, I guess back to the whole small margin of error thing. I could have sworn large meant worse. Or I saw like large meant like you have a higher chance of messing up.
A larger margin of error basically means you have more room to be wrong than less. Because a smaller margin of error means you are off by like 1,000th and you miss it by 10 miles or something.
Gotcha. Anyways, back to the Raspberry Racers. My feeling was right about them. Like they had a very great chance to win it, and yeah, they were really 5 points behind Mellow Yellow.
The reverse grid sunk them.
So it's not really choking. It's not like choking would. I feel like choking implies more like their performance is what sucked.
Well, I mean,
other teams, Mellow Yellow was in the back too, and they got 15.
Yeah,
they got third place.
So. Was in the back.
Yeah, so they kind of choked. But you know,
the Raspberry Racers do struggle to move up. If they start in a high pole, then they're going to do okay. But if they start low, it's hard for them to shift up in through the pack.
So what you're
Raspberry Racers are also just bad at a Marbula style racing in general. So this is a bad event for them.
So you're saying the Raspberry Raspers are able to, if they're out in front, the Raspberry Raspers. What did I just say? The Raspberry Racers. Excuse me. They're good when they're leading. They can hold back the pack.
Yeah.
But they can't get through the pack, so they can't handle the dirty air.
Yes, fair enough. Yes. In essence, yeah. They if they did well in event 15 and they started in the top few, they probably would have won. Okay, they probably would have won.
They choked.
Yeah,
they choked.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, they led for quite a long time, so I would say I don't know. I think people use choke way too liberally, but anyways. Like the Raspberry Racers, they did great. They almost were the second repeat champions. They got a silver, which is pretty dang good. Like the Raspberry Racers have just been a very solid team since their introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have. They're kind of like the Hazers in the solidness, but for some reason we don't notice them.
Well, really, I noticed them all the time. Like they were introduced in 2019.
Oh, the
right?
Raspberry Racers, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Raspberry Racers
probably
have been
more
here
than
since
the Hazers,
2019.
but like I kind of.
Hazers were also... Oh, wait, no, Hazers were introduced in 2018. For some reason, I always feel like they were introduced in 2019. It could be because they had that title fight with the Green Ducks and the Raspberry Racers in that season.
Maybe, but they're just such a solid team. They did amazing, and like honestly, they should be proud. Like they did a fantastic job, and I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, I want to address something here to kind of wrap it up, and then you can comment on Mellow Yellow if you want. So first of all, congratulations to our top three. Want to start there because that's we try to do that. Mellow Yellow, Raspberry Racers, and Gliding Glaciers is not even close to the top three expected. My top three expectation was a Rangers and then Raspberry Racers and Savage Speeders or something along those lines. So it was completely different. Congratulations to Mellow Yellow. Obviously, as a team I have merch for, I'm very happy about that. I'm just in general like, yes, that's actually awesome. Of course, it's less so because they weren't on my fantasy, so that's on me. But it still is really cool. Glaciers, of course, I'm happy about. Racers, I'm okay with. But I want to point out something here regarding these teams. And besides Glaciers being a dark horse, so we didn't know much about them. Mellow Yellow and Raspberry Racers are arguably the two best performing teams from the qualifiers by far. Mellow Yellow actually only got second in the qualifiers. Thunderbolts actually had more points, but Mellow Yellow had 2 golds in the qualifiers. And remember, and I say this every time we talk about Marble League, golds win Marble Leagues. That's what you say. How do you win a Marble League? Golds.
They were tied.
You need a gold. And yes, the second answer to that question is consistency. Yes, it is. You can't get 4 golds and 3 zeros and expect to win.
Hazers.
But if you are consistent, if you are the Hazers, if you are the Orangers, well, the Hazers is a bad example for what I'm about to say, but if you're like the Orangers right now, or if you're like the Thunderbolts right now, and you perform that way, but you still can't put a gold up on the board, then you will not win. And it literally usually is for those teams, 1 or 2 golds is the difference between them getting 8th and 1st. And because they're consistent as a team, but golds first, then consistency, which is a weird way to put it, but it's true. And Mellow Yellow, I mean, they were not very consistent in the qualifiers, but they got 2 golds, and they showed that same promise in the regular event. Raspberry Racer is just overall dominant in qualifiers with 3 medals, but point being, golds, you need golds to win a Marble League. Mellow Yellow did come through with 2 golds and actually rounded it out well with 4 other podium finishes with 2 silvers, so that's how they win, even though they had 2 zeros and a 1 in other events.
Okay, so I got a question, Marble Guy. So what you're saying here is the way we pick our fantasy is to go by the qualifiers and who has the better medal counts.
Now, I didn't do that. And remember, of course, Marble Sports has not been alive long enough for me to give you that definite advice. And that's something that'll...
Well, you're not giving me that advice, but you're giving the viewers.
You meaning all in this case.
Okay.
So, like, everybody that advice. Because I can't... we haven't had enough Marble Sports, and, you know, we need a lot more time to actually come to that answer. But point being, if a team is in the qualifiers and kicks up 2 golds and 2 0 points, I am more likely to pick them than the team who gets 5th 4 times in a row. If I want to talk about winning, if I want to talk about I just want some random team on my team that's going to give me points, I'd probably go with the team with the 4 5ths because they'll get points. But if I want to talk about a team who I think is going to win, it's a team who can get golds.
Okay, that's understandable. And that's reasonable because if you think about it, if you get 4 4th places, it's still fewer points than 2 golds and 2 zeros. Because it's 12 points for 4th and 25 for 1st.
And that is case in point, and so there is that too. So I mean, point being is you should first and remember, you have to consider more than one thing when you pick teams for fantasy. But first consider who is earning golds, and then right after that, not even a millisecond after, being like who is consistent. And those are both important, but golds just a bit more important than consistency. It's just weird to think about, but we have the data for the winning teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's going to, in essence, wrap up the go-through of all the teams. If you have things to say about any of the teams, please write in. If you guys have any closing remarks, please say them. But we are, like, way over time. This is going to be the longest episode in a while. So definitely no trivia.
Okay.
Okay. But whenever you're ready, Waff, take us out, guys. Thanks, MFA, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
I think there's a blender going on in the background if you guys can hear that, but that is loud as shit. So
I can't hear it.
This is a good time to end the episode. So anything else, take us away.
All right. Roll on, Marble Sports fans.